So here's some advice that I kind of want to give myself recently, which is to start before you second guess yourself. Or I also think of it as like act immediately when you have a thought about something you want to do. It doesn't necessarily have to be about a project that's long term, but it can also just be something that you feel like doing. For instance, this recording. I'm acting based on a feeling. I did not plan this before this morning, and I just felt like I wanted to record something since it is kind of a transitional point for me right now. The JLPT is coming up really soon at this point, a week and a half, so about 10 days. July 5th is when the test is in Japan, and we are preparing for it. We've been preparing for a while, and a lot of my mind has just been trapped in like kind of just this JLPT mode where I'm just studying Japanese. We'll talk about that in a different video, but basically I've kind of let it make me like turn myself into a version I like less. Like this version of me is kind of not acting, not doing things that I want to do because I'm prioritizing studying Japanese. But that time is about to change. My, I guess, habits will change once JLPT is done because I won't be spending like 8 to 10 hour days like studying anymore, which I will be very happy about, honestly. But I just feel like I wanted to talk about this idea since it's been this advice that I want to give to myself since I've been slacking, honestly. I haven't done much at all in regarding to like making videos and just the project ideas that I have. However, I have started a podcast recently, which is the Adventurers podcast, and the idea behind it is something I tried actually 2 years ago in Kyoto, but I just made it part of my Dreamlit podcast. I'm thinking of actually just rerunning certain episodes for this podcast instead, because it still carries the same idea as I previously had, which is just having my friends or people I meet on this adventure of being here in Japan and doing my thing, like creating things and just featuring people that are cool, that have taken that leap to try this adventure, you know? I think I'd go to the Ajisai again. But yeah, that's the idea. Just anyone who has that adventurous spirit, which honestly is any foreigner in Japan for the most part, that is trying to do something here, like learn Japanese, create, find a job, live a different life from, you know, what they were used to in their own home country. So yeah, that's kind of the idea behind the podcast. Just talking to those types of people. And I've always, like I mentioned in the first episode of that podcast, I've always really liked the idea of like going out and I guess going on adventures in life. It's more so inspired by anime where they have adventures, guild and going on missions and all that stuff, and I really, really love that type of anime. A lot of it is like isekai anime, which I enjoy a lot. As you can see, the Ajisai is kind of dying. It's very unfortunate. But it's been raining quite a lot actually, so the season's ending, I suppose. There were some spots that were still quite nice, but yeah. I think my previous video was also recorded here, but I'm just gonna... Yeah, this is just an easy spot for me to access, so I don't mind repeating. Anyways, so I did start that podcast, and I kind of did it without any real set plans for execution. I think that's kind of a pattern I've noticed a lot is I just start things sometimes without actually having a plan of execution. And I can't say all of it is like amazing, but at the very least, like after you get started, you start to think about it a lot more, like how to actually execute something well. And I think once you get started, it's just easier to think about those things because you have like a realer sense of how things might go. Like, because before you start, you're missing a lot of elements, a lot of knowledge or data on how a project might go beforehand. So that's why I feel like oftentimes I don't really like have super stringent plans before I start something. Dang, yeah, it is quite gone now at this point. These used to all be blue and violet. Like, check out my previous video or vlog, I guess, to see the nicer versions. But yeah, here's the almost gone versions of the other. There's a few actually that are still. Whoa, that's a really big bug. Let's see if we can zoom in on that bug. I'm failing. Okay. Yeah, that's huge. Anyways, let's go ahead and try to stay on topic. I've been kind of bad at doing these recently, because I'm always like, I have like a different idea where I used to just talk into a mic, almost like audio journaling, and I would just lay over B-roll on the footage for the video side of things, and just release videos like that. That was like 2.5 years ago, I'd say, when I was in Kyoto. And I've been considering doing that again, like maybe even making a podcast where it's just like weekly journals, updates. There's still a lot of good ones right here. But that's another project I have in mind that I want to try. And I think like my habits have always been like, I'm doing too many things at once, starting too many things at once. And then at a certain point, I get locked into one thing, which is right now studying Japanese for the JLPTN test. And then it kind of feels like shitty not to be able to work on everything else. But I kind of don't mind that pattern for the time being. I think once we do start a lot of our projects, like some of them will die, but some of them will survive as well. And those are the ones I probably will continue working on. I know, obviously, if I'm doing this as like a business, it's it's not the best strategy. But I'm mainly doing this stuff, this content creation stuff for fun for the moment. I think in the future I will like turn it more into something I try as a business. But for now, I don't mind just like being a bit scatterbrained about it and exploring. Let's see if I can show you guys this spider web, because it's kind of cool. Can you see it? I think you can. Yeah, but glad these are still alive. They look nice. But basically that's it. My advice is just to start before you know, like before you second guess yourself, because honestly, like the more you think about it, the more you hesitate and give it time, the more it's just unlikely to happen. And even if the execution is poor in the beginning, which honestly a lot of my stuff I feel like is executed like very poorly in the beginning, that's okay, because if it's a project that you really, really want to actually make happen, it will happen if you start it, and you'll just improve it over time. Like the first version of it is not going to be great. Okay, enough of generic advice. Let's talk about something else. Catch you guys in the next video.